Welcome to the Daily Dish with New York Times bestselling author Leanne Ely. Putting vibrancy back into your everyday life and feeding your heart, mind, body, and soul. Join us every day at 1 p.m. Eastern for Motivational Monday, Tuesday's Tip, Wise Woman's Wednesday, Thirsty Thursday, Food Fight Friday, and of course Q&A, where no question is off limits, and Soulful Saturday. Here is your host, Leanne Ely, and the Daily Dish.
It's Soulful Saturday. Welcome. Come on in. Who's in the house? Who is in the house? And who joined us last night for the pajama party? Did we have a blast or what? I'll tell you what. I had a great time last night. We had so many women who were there showing off their jammies, their dancing skills. I mean, there was dancing happening. Hey, Jackie. We had show and tell with the vision boards. It was just incredible. So fun. Hi, Carla. Good to see you. Denise is in the house too. Come on in. Good to see everyone. Today is Saturday. You know what that means? It's Soulful Saturday. Huh, Melissa and Joanne? So glad to see you. You know what's really fun? It's fun to connect. It's fun to be together, and it's fun to just forget about all the things that are going on and instead just connect one-on-one with our girls. There's Beverly. She was there last night. Kimberline's here. And there's our girl Gwen. Good to see you. We had quite the fashion show. Juanita was there too. Jerry was there. Was it not a blast? I loved last night. It really, really was a ball. Joanne loved it too. We all loved it. It felt like a bunch of girlfriends getting together, Gosh, don't we need that right now? We do. I went over to see Marla yesterday, and it was nice to see her. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you. And the thing is that, Marla and I have known each other for over 20 years now, and we are such good friends. And we had to stand socially distanced, and it was awkward and weird because usually I see her and we're like hugging and doing all that stuff. And it's just... our in-person stuff isn't the same anymore. So being able to do this and pretty virtually hug one another, it just set my soul on fire. It made me so happy. So thank you all for joining me. And we're going to do these again. We had fashion shows with the pajamas. We decided Sarah did win this. Sarah Preston won the Cookie Monster pajama game. She was on fire. She took the cookies, the Velcroed cookies off of her pajamas because she found them to be triggering, which was hysterical, of course. Anyway, we enjoyed that. We enjoyed, Terry showed us her cougar jammies. She was there. I mean, we just had so much fun. It really was a blast. Anyway, next time, if you want to be a part of our pajama game, you gotta show up. Susan had a good time too. It was just really fun. We were there for 2 hours. We had wine, we had fun, we had... showed everybody the vibrant vision boards. So much fun. Anyway, Saturdays we changed the quote. Are you ready for it? I got a new one. Here it is. For there's always light, if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it. Does that sound familiar? That was Amanda Gorman on the inauguration, 22 years old, the poet laureate, and she just brought it home. She lit me up. She lit up, I think, millions of Americans, and that's why we're honoring these very wise words from a very young woman. I believe that these were inspired words, so this is why, inspiration. And I also believe, too, that, as we're going to be talking about today's subject matter about struggle, if we are brave enough to be the light, we're going to be brave enough to see into our stuff, see into what is what, and be able to go past that struggle and into the lesson that's there for us to learn, because there's always a lesson if we are willing to look. That's what we're going to be talking about today. We do have new mindful mugs. You can find them at savingdinner.com/mug. You can read what a mindful mug is all about, because there is a reason behind these lovely mugs. This one is yellow, and it says, don't get mad about the results you didn't earn from the work you didn't do. Boom, 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 cosmic 2x4. We love it. On the other side, you've got the mindful mug, Pinkies Up cup, and of course, savingdinner.com. We love these. There's a way to get it free. You can also pay half price for it, or you can buy it full price if you want to. It's all there on the post. savingdinner.com/mug. And this is it for the Infla Crusher. This is our supplement of the week, you know. If you put 4 in your cart, you're going to pay for 3. How about that? It's like buy 3, get 1 free. But just put 4 in your cart. We will adjust the price for you, and we will send it to you free. But you got to follow the rules, you know. If you put 4, you get all this great price simply by doing the 4, okay? You can find it at savingdinner.com/show. And you know what? We want to support you any way that we can. And I know what it is to be watching your pennies and to be on a budget. Well, this is what we do. And in my house, we have freezers, duplicate, yes, 2, because we have a big stand-up freezer in our garage. We have a refrigerator in our freezer downstairs, and we have, of course, the one that's upstairs in the kitchen. You know what we did? We did yesterday when we went into town. We had to stop and, I went and saw Marla. I told you that. And so we were so close to town. We said, hey, let's go do an errand, you know? So we ran into, I love this little grocery outlet. This is where we usually get the chicken feet. No chicken feet. We can't find any chicken feet. So that was disappointing. But they had chicken backs. Now, had I not been with Mark, he wouldn't have bought the chicken backs. We bought the chicken backs. Do you know how many chicken backs we bought? We bought so many chicken backs that we had a lady walk up to us in the checkout line and said, well, we would have bought some chicken backs if you hadn't bought them all. And we said, well, of course you can have some of these, you know. We didn't know. And you know what she said? No, that's okay. And then I was thinking to myself, I was thinking I would run after her and insist that she have chicken backs. But you know what my big girl Leanne said? You know what? If she's not going to have a voice in her life, she doesn't deserve all those chicken backs. So that's what I did. I just said, oh, well, okay, you don't want them? No worries. Because we took all the chicken backs. And they were like cheap. They were great. They were super helpful.
I offered him at the time.
Mark is here telling me, yes, he offered the guy at the time, the woman's husband, hey, you want some too? You know? Oh, no. If you don't have a voice in your own life, you don't get chicken backs. There's a lesson there. There is a lesson there. So anyway, we have a freezer full of chicken backs. I tell you this. You know why I'm telling you this? Because when you buy in bulk, you save bank. And that's why we do our supplement of the week. This is it, you guys. On Monday, you won't be getting this, and we're not here on Sunday, so take advantage of it. savingdinner.com/show. Put 4 in your cart. You'll pay for 3, and you'll get free shipping. I can't do any better than that, you know? And I love passing these things on to you because chicken backs, y'all. Let's save a buck. Get it? Buck, cluck, cluck, whatever. Anyway, there you are. There's my lesson of the day right there. How's that? Also, we have the quote decks. People are loving our quote decks. I love our quote decks. We also send them with these adorable little, look at this, little wooden easels. So you can put it right there on your desk and let these quotes change your mind. I'm going to just say it. I'm just going to go out on a limb. Don't we need our minds changed sometimes? Don't we find ourselves falling into the old thinking patterns that have never served us, nor will they ever? Well, guess what? When you've got something else in front of you that's saying something that's contrary to what you think about, you change your mind, right? Okay, I just popped this one in, but again, I'm going to read it again because it's so good. You can be powerful or you can be pitiful, but you can't be both. Joyce telling the truth there. Oh, here's another one. Another Joyce. You can suffer the pain of change, or you can suffer the pain of remaining as you are. What is up, Joyce? Here's another one. This is one of my favorites. Diana Nyad, Find a Way. You know the story behind that, don't you? I mean, I've told it a couple of times in here, maybe more than that. You know, 64 years old, got across the ocean, getting stung by jellyfish, surrounded by sharks. She did it anyway. So when we think about our things that we are having a difficulty doing, come on. Think about Diana Nyad. Find a way. Find a way. Diana's awesome. And so are you. We just haven't found our ways yet, right? This is how we get to do this. This is buckle up, buttercups. We get to do this. On Monday, we are starting our hydration challenge. Well, what is this? This is to say to you, I know it's a lot to drink all that water, get all that hydration in, but we have a way of doing it. And when we challenge ourselves to do things, we learn new things. We challenge our minds to change our minds about things that we said, oh, it's too hard, I can't do it, it's this, that's that. Nope, we're gonna show you a way. So join it, it's free. And you can go watch the webinar if you go to savingdinner.com/station. It's going to give you all the education that you need to understand why hydration is such a needle mover. It really is everything. And do you know there is a deep connection between being dehydrated and having high blood pressure, for example. I'll tell you about that in the webinar. I'm also going to tell you that the 8 glasses of water a day is a myth. I'm also going to show you and bust a myth through that says you can count your coffee as hydration. Doesn't that make you feel good? Check it out, savingdinner.com/station. And I don't make this stuff up. I get actual research and I tell you about it, okay? So just check them out. You know, we do these things to help you feel empowered. Education equals empowerment. That's why we do these things. And we give it to you straight every single time. And that's why we keep going. We just, we finished a sprint. We went into the Vibrant Body Detox. So many people loving that. Then we made a jump now into our hydration challenge so that we can stay on task. If we can stay on task, we can stop with the cha-cha, y'all, and really keep things going. And as a matter of fact, we had somebody in our, who was it? I think it was Jennifer, who said she finally broke through a plateau because she sprinted, then she did the Vibrant Body Detox that we just finished up. So, and I toxed up last night with my wine, so, I need to Vibrant Body Detox again. It was pretty fun at the pajama party, what can I tell you? Anyway, secondarily, what else? Show notes, because we have notes about what is talked about gets printed about the next day, and Amber takes really good notes. She does a fabulous job on our emails. Can I just say amen to Amber's abilities? Good little things in there, good recipes, everything. If you're not getting them, you are missing out. savingdinner.com, you will see our little pop-up or little sidebar, whatever you need, you just do it. You just do it and say, yeah, I want your newsletter, and you get on the list, and then we will send you everything, and you will get today's show notes tomorrow morning. Isn't that cool? That's how we roll. We don't send junk. We send good stuff. We send 1 email a day. That's it. Sometimes we send 2, but it's only because we have something coming up. So, take advantage of this. This is how we change our minds. And when we change our minds, we change our lives. Amen. And I don't know about you, but I need this. I need all the help I can get. Don't we? I think that's why we're here. The quote, the quote deck is at savingdinner.com/quote. I don't think I threw that out there, but I want you to know about that. And I also want you to know that if you buy 2 quote decks, because Valentine's Day is coming up, you get free shipping too. That's cool. And we're in the midst of designing our next quote deck because these guys are flying out the door. So grab your quote deck now. Grab it so that you have the first thing. We are also on Monday going to do the webinar on how to crush the sprint, because you need to know how to do this. When you are educated, you are empowered, and that's why we do this. And I just walk you through the whole thing, show you the whys, wherefores, what the science is about it, and then how to do it. You're gonna love it. Go to savingdinner.com/sprint for the sign up, and it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Now, if you can't make it on Monday, don't worry about it. Just sign up anyway. We'll send you the replay. This is how we roll. We do all the things. And I think that is it. So, where are you? You're in savingdinner.com, but this is the Daily Dish Show. We do this daily, Monday through Saturday, where we put vibrancy back into your life. How do we do it? Heart, mind, body, and soul. Because we are all connected. We are not just one portion of woman. We're not just our jean size or our lipstick color or the things that we do for our family. We are whole women. When we identify with that wholeness, that's when we start to see remarkable change in our lives. That's when we start to really live our lives and not just, get through the days. Getting through is not enough. I want juiciness, vibrancy, right? That's what we're about. So today I want to talk about struggle because no one here is above struggle. No one is. No one here has not struggled with something. There's always something to struggle with. There's always something that we have to look at. There's always something that just makes us say, man, this is hard. There's a lot going on, or we feel piled on, overwhelmed. There's a lot of words that we can go with that. But no one is immune from having to struggle with something. But I will tell you, and you know this from Bible study, I'm sure, and from things that you've been through in the past, that going through a struggle is how you get to the other side. That we can't go through life without the struggle. We hate it. We say, oh, it's just so hard. It's so overwhelming. I just can't do it. We say a lot of stuff about it, but we really negate what struggle can be and how it can be such a teacher if we just take a look at it. Now, I'm not saying embrace the struggle and say, ooh, this is fun, because it's clearly not, but take a look at it instead from the perspective of what is this all about? We know in nature that struggle is just a part of living a life. A baby chick, for example, struggles to get out of their shell. If you go and help that baby chick, that struggle will end the struggle. It will result in the death of the chick. Same with a caterpillar. They need that struggle. That struggle is the thing that builds the strength and the resiliency in that chick or in that butterfly. They become because of the struggle. We become because of our struggles. Nobody's handed this just fabulous life. No one. There is an inherent struggle for all of us. We've all had something in our lives that has not been fun, not been easy. It can be an ongoing basis. It could be for a season. It could be whatever it is, but we've all had something in our lives, maybe one after the other, maybe piled on high and deep. But the point is that we have to look at it with different eyes if we are going to learn the lessons that we need to learn from them so that we can become more about who we really truly are. Because I believe with all of my heart that, struggle's a teacher. And it shows us, it shows us the knack we have for survival. It shows us that we can get through hard times, we can do hard things, and all the rest of it. But more than anything, it also shows us the depth of our character, and it forms us into the women that we can be. It dares us to step up and says to you, you're more than this. You're more than that. You are more. But you know what we do? A lot of times what happens instead is we look instead for comfort, don't we? We're thinking, ooh, I don't want to do that. I want comfort instead. Where's my phone? Where's my, whatever it is? Where's my numbing fluid? Give me some more wine. Give me, how do I just get into comfort? Because comfort is so much better. Isn't it so much better to be under a nice warm blankie and than to be outside freezing, right? Isn't it? We want comfort. Think about this comfort food. We hear about, comfort food. And I mean, the pandemic brought us, the quarantine 15. I mean, let me tell you, I've talked to a lot of women in my coaching who have gained 15 pounds or more in the name of comfort, in the name of comfort. This is because we can't go into the place of feeling like, we don't want to be there. We don't want to be in that hard place. Sarah says, I'd rather snuggle than struggle. It's true. We all want that. We all want the comfiness of it. But, think about this. We call it for what it is. We call it comfort food instead of calling it really what it is, which is usually inflammatory food. What if we called things for what they were? What if we, instead of say, looking at the mashed potatoes, say, well, actually the mashed potatoes, that's inflammatory. That's going to light up my sugar, make my sugar just go to the moon. That's going to make me, all this weight that I've lost, all these things that I've done, all this good stuff that I've done, is it worth it to me? Let's call it for what it is. It's an impediment to my growth. Let's stop naming things comfort when in fact what they are is just a big old roadblock to getting you to the vibrant life that you want to live. Amen? That's the truth. So let's call things out for what they are. And what comforting is really is staying the course. It's comfort to know that you're worth more than a big batch of mashed potatoes, right? It's a comfort to know that you're worth more than this supposed food that you're putting on your plate. It's the story that I told you about me and the chocolate M&Ms in the front seat of my car when I suddenly recognized that I gave my power away to a bag of candy. I gave my power away. And when I decided to take it back, I took back my health. I took back my weight. I took back so many different things because I was giving it away. I was saying, in the name of comfort, I'm going to do this to myself. And it just, there's an incongruency there. And it doesn't keep us congruent with the spirit that's inside of us either. It doesn't keep us congruent with the soul of who we are. It doesn't keep us congruent to the truth of who we are. Wise women, purposeful women, daughters of a king, put here by God himself. Start thinking in those terms, and that comfort food suddenly doesn't look so comforting anymore, and we can call it out for what it is. We also find out how resourceful we are when we're in the midst of a struggle. We find out that we have creativity and that we have other ideas and that we don't have to be in the place of stuck. Do you understand that? Because when we say we're stuck, our reticular activating system goes full board. Okay, let's make you stuck. If we go to this place and say that we can't do anything, we're overwhelmed or whatever, our words trap us and become the prison of everything that we're thinking. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, it's going to have some overlying things, and it's always, any kind of struggle that we go to is never pleasant or fun. But if we put the weight of our words and just absolutely blow it up, talk about it constantly, our brain is going to look for all of that and more. Evidence to support the things that you're thinking about and talking about. That's that negative loop that we just can't get ahead of and we can't get away from. I have a friend, Sandy, that lovely woman. And Sandy, when we were doing this whole Take Back Your Dinner Table thing, this was about in 2013, was the director of the video that we did, and we did a whole bunch of stuff, and she's just an incredible woman. She lost her daughter. Her daughter was 12 years old, walking across the room, fell into her arms and passed. Can you imagine? That to me, that's a struggle right there of just dealing with all of that. She took that energy though and brought it into a foundation that she put, a thing that she put together for her daughter. Not that she can ever find meaning in what had happened, but that so she could redirect that grief and that all that struggle and everything into building something good. We're all called to that. We are all called to that regardless of what's going on in our lives. And that's not to diminish what Sandy's daily grief is about at all. It's to say that we have a choice. We are always standing right there at the precipice of choice. How am I going to deal with this? How am I going to deal with this? What am I going to do? Sandy still had a child to raise. She adopted another daughter, and she had life to go on. And funny enough, she lived in California. Now she's living in Charlotte, North Carolina. We haven't gotten together since then, but we've stayed in touch. And she's a lovely woman. And I've watched the beauty of her growth and the expansion of her empathy and just everything about her, you know? She made that choice, and we can make that choice at any point. Tony Robbins says success isn't about your resources. It's about how resourceful you are with what you have. And aren't we all in a place of having so much? We do. We might have this over here, but we have this in front of us. We still have so much that we could all list. It's not like it's all been taken away and we have nothing and we're left as little dust mites on the floor. It's not true. We also have an expectation in our lives. When you expect to get through something, you do. When you expect to be overwhelmed by something, you are. And that's why we have to guard our tongues. We have to guard what we're saying. We have to even guard our thoughts. We have to be absolutely, completely on target with what we want instead of what's going on. Then we become almost complicit. You know, it's almost like we're working against ourselves by saying, yeah, this is going on. Here's the struggle. Oh my gosh, I'm so overwhelmed. Okay, says your particular activating system, looking for all the evidence in the world to support that. And you will be overwhelmed. You will. Instead, if we were to say, you know what, this is difficult, but I know I have a community I can depend on. I know that God is with me. I know that I can get through this. I can do hard things. Then what happens? Evidence to support that is what becomes your norm. It's what becomes your norm. And again, I'm never going to dismiss anybody's struggle or anybody's grief or anybody's hard things. I just know within my heart of hearts, because I have done it myself, that how we look at it, how we think about it, and what we talk about and how much we talk about it is what's going to make the difference. Big time. We have to understand this is a process. Any kind of a struggle is a process. Think of the baby chick. Didn't you watch that when you were a kid? Didn't you have an incubation thing in 3rd grade where you watched baby chicks get born? You know, and you're watching them just exhausted and wet and just, you know, if chicks had tongues, I don't know, do they have tongues? But you watch them. Then all of a sudden they fluff up and they're all cute and they're running around, beep, 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 you know, doing their thing. That's what happens. We are that baby chick. You might be laying out there wet and exhausted from all the struggle, but give it a minute. Allow the process, and pretty soon you'll be all fluffed up running around too, looking for a worm, looking for something. Dolly Parton said, if you want the rainbow, you gotta put up with the rain. And we all have to put up with the rain, don't we? We all have rain. We have stormy days. Doesn't it make us so grateful for the sunshine the next day? Doesn't it? And this whole thing of this struggle of everything that happens, if one lesson that we can grab from this is the humility and the humbleness of heart to see things now from a different perspective. Do you think that Sandy sees women who've lost their children with a different light? You bet. The thing that's in her heart now is to be a help, to be the love, to be the light, and help these women. That was off her radar before. Now it's very much in it. And you know, for such a time as this, it's now her calling, she believes. And she has such empathy and such beauty in her heart to be able to reach out through these ashes. Beauty from ashes. Beauty from ashes. We have this opportunity always to shift these things, to allow our empathy to grow. And if there's one thing that I've seen in this country and all for a number of years now, is just how cold and horrible we can be toward one another. How we're better than you and you're not this and all of that. And why can't we step into each other's shoes and love one another? You know, aren't we called to do that? I believe there's a very wise book that calls us to love one another. I believe Jesus' first thing that he said is, what is your greatest commandment? To love one another. How did we forget that? You know, we get into the nitty gritty and want to tear each other apart and my religion's better than yours and this, that, and the other thing and one-upsmanship. And for heaven's sakes, is that loving one another? Have we forgotten the greatest commandment of all? I say we have. But we don't have to be individually as women of wisdom. We can step into this time and understand, you know what? We have an opportunity here to develop amazing empathy. This is part of the emotional quotient, emotional intelligence quotient, by the way. This is how we grow and how we become the best that we can be. And this is a time to shift from blame shifting and looking for somebody to blame and instead taking on responsibility for ourselves. Okay, what can I do with this mess that I have here? What is this struggle trying to teach me? Looking for the lesson instead of looking for someone to blame. There's been a lot of that, isn't it? So much of it. We got to stop that Groundhog Day type of living, because until we understand that we have a lesson to learn and we need to look for the lesson, we're going to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Definition of insanity? You bet. You bet. But this is how you upgrade your beautiful self. This is how you upgrade the empathy that's within you, by all of this and looking for those lessons and start shifting. Because who you are deeply is that woman. That's truly who you are. It's just covered up with a lot of garbage. And when we can sort through the garbage and say, that's enough of that, it's time to step into our true authentic self of being wise women who know that they're called by God himself on purpose for today, for such a purpose as living their lives as an example, living their lives as true light. And we have eyes on us. Do we know that? There are eyes on you. There are eyes on me. Are you living your best life? Are you doing this? Are you doing it for the sake of those that you love and care about, and for the sake of those who are in your community, and for your sake, so that you can find your true purpose, so that you can step into the greatness that is yours? You know, we're all... Do you feel this, how purposeful this all is? Our purposes are so important. Our purpose is to help others, and our purpose is to do it in a way that's uniquely ours. That's the part that we need to find. That's the part that shows up as we start to undo a lot of the damage that we self-inflict by saying it's too hard, I can't do it, I'm on the struggle bus, it's this, that, and the other, I'm overwhelmed. That puts us in, doesn't give you a way out, does it? I see somebody just buried in a bunch of rocks with all those words on it. That's my visual of that. But when I say instead, you know what, there's a lesson here, you know what, I'm going to persevere, you know what, I can do this. I can do hard things. And not only can I do hard things, I can be victorious through hard things. Yeah, that's the big thing. Because you know what, surprise, you are so much stronger than you think you are. There is a resilience in there that is deeply in there. You're built that way. It's in your DNA. Women are incredible. We do all the things. We hold this world together. We hold it together more with duct tape and a wing and a prayer, because that's just the nature of what's going on in the world today. But we're a unique part of this, and we are here on purpose to make a difference. Your little pebble across that lake, that little ripple effect, is something. It's effective, and it's a part of who you are and what you're about. And when you embrace that and stop with the whole, I can't because I'm so this or that, it doesn't make it all go away. It brings down the rhetoric a little bit, and it gives you an opportunity to see the creative solutions, because there's always a creative solution. You can't always go back to the way things are. Sandy's never going to get her 12-year-old daughter back. But you know what? You know what? You can step into the greatness of who you are by being purposeful, by being meaningful, and by understanding that you and so many others have a struggle. They do, but we don't have to live in it. We don't have to get on the struggle bus. We can say instead, I'm bigger than that. And I'm going to step into my purpose, I'm going to step into my power, and I'm going to take it all back. Because that is the woman you've been created to be, if you're willing to accept it. If you're willing to put that mantle on instead of the victim, if you're willing to put that on instead of all this other garbage that has never done one thing for you. Never. Sarah's good, and we never have to identify with our struggle. No, we don't. You know, never. You will never hear me say my Hashimoto's, for example. My struggle has been with dealing with my thyroid, but I will never identify with that. That is something that I had to deal with. But that struggle, that whole thing that I went through, all the work that I did, everything that was about it, I don't have a tattoo of a butterfly and a thyroid thing and be constantly talking about it. You don't hear me talk about it. The only time I ever talk about it is to make a point. It was something that I had to go through. And you know what? It made me a better person. And it also made me so much more empathetic. I know what it feels like to not be able to get up off the couch. I know what it feels like. But I also know what it feels like to just roll over and say, well, there's nothing I can do. I also know how disempowering it feels to have a doctor say there's nothing you can do. Oh, I don't believe that MD stands for medical deity. And I did my own work and I got myself well. You know, it wasn't easy. But I'll tell you what, I'm better for it. I'm better for it, and I stand in front of you right now in remission for years and years and years, and really victorious over all of this. Never became a victim, and I never will. And that's our lesson. Our struggles can create victims out of perfectly good women who have purpose and have been called to do things in their lives. But if you get onto that struggle bus, and let that ticket of yours get punched, then you are checking out from your life. Stay off it and watch what you say, because what we say is going to end up being part and parcel of what our lives are. That's how we get out of that. Your view is going to shift when you start to say things that are a little bit more positive and start looking for opportunity instead of, oh, woe is me opportunities. Your purpose becomes so much clearer. And you know what? You become more able, because suddenly creativity becomes the thing instead of all those rocks on top of you. This is how we become the women that we need to be. This is how we step into the greatness of who we've been called to be. You know, you're a wise woman. Let's start making sure that off of our lips, what is it? There's a Bible verse that says, from her lips come wisdom. I think it's somewhere in Proverbs. I think probably Proverbs 31. From her lips come wisdom. A wise woman builds her house, and a foolish woman tears it down with her own hands. Build your house wisely. Your house. That's the house you live in, this one. And that's the house that's around you. And that's the house that you extend to the people around you in your community. Be that woman. I double dog dare ya. Thanks for joining me today. I will not be on tomorrow. Tomorrow's my day off. But we will be here on Monday. Remember, this is it, you guys. Get your InfluCrusher. Go to savingdinner.com/show. You can save gobs of money. And also, don't forget, on Monday, we are going to be doing our Crush Your Sprint webinar. savingdinner.com/sprint. Get a seat. It's going to be good. I've got some new stuff. Hopefully, if I get to it, I have some new stuff that I want to add to it. Love you guys. Appreciate you. Peace be with you.
Thanks for watching. You can find us on YouTube on the Saving Dinner channel or on the Saving Dinner Facebook page. Check back daily for new episodes, Monday to Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern. If you missed the live show, you can watch the replay. Until next time, pinkies up.